In this section, we'll cover a lot of minor features, mostly related to user interface, that are part of the missing pieces on the road to complete the app. Let's start with the categories that we can see at the top of the restaurant application. When we fetch a dish, we can check if a category is already added, and if not, we can just add it into the list of categories. This list is used later on when we build the list model for the categories. In the dish edit form, we can provide an autocomplete text field, which allows us to type in new categories or select an existing category. In that same form, when a user presses OK, we check if the category already exists, and if not, we add it to the category list. This makes the whole process automatic and effectively removes the edit, add, delete user interface for the categories. That simplifies our work by removing forms we would have built, and also simplifies the user experience. Laziness pays off. Here we can see the server code for the categories, and you will notice that it is handled as part of the dish update. There is no separate web service for categories, further simplifying this logic. We implicitly create a category if it's missing and save it to the MySQL database. We have a separate call to cull the category, which we'll go into now. The cull category call just loops over the dishes to see if a category is unused. If it is missing, the method deletes that category. The delete method also culls the category, since the deleted dish might be the last one using a specific category, so we need the call there too. Back in the client, we use the validator API to place a constraint on the category, so we'll always have a category for a dish. We also set a numeric constraint on the price. Notice that a validator is essential even if you set the text field as a numeric text field. The definition only indicates the type of virtual keyboard used, but doesn't enforce input, since mobile OSs don't do that. Next, we'll handle prices on dishes. As you can see in this code, we can just add a price label with the right price badge UI ID. We use a property listener to automatically update the price as it changes in the underlying object. We align the price to the right using the flow layout. If we'd have used just text alignment, the purple background would have stretched through the entire width of the space. The price badge UI ID has most of the settings you would expect for color alignment, padding, and even a bit of translucency. The thing that pushes it from the top is a 4mm margin on the top side, which places it at just the right place. Next, we'll address the details form, which is mostly pretty trivial. Let's go over it step by step. I've enclosed common code for text field and label creation in the add text and label method. This ended up reducing only a small part of the clutter and wasn't as worthwhile as I had initially hoped. Address, colors, and other elements are represented by a button, which will navigate to a deeper editor form. This is important as it allows us to keep the user interface in this form relatively simple without too much clutter. I considered using something like an accordion UI, but using navigation was simpler. As I mentioned before, The add text field and label is relatively simple. It sets the hint and just adds the components into place.